When I was a kid, the first English sentence I learned was not "my name is Dax," but it was written on the pencils, toys, and everything I use. And it was made in China. I didn't understand why everything was made in China. And growing up from a developing country, Ghana, I realized that Ghana was full of all the natural resources, but I never saw something written made in Ghana. So I always wondered why China, a nation with less natural resources, was having made in China written on almost every product I saw. In the year 2018, November, I arrived in China, in the journey of learning why everything was made in China. But before arriving in China, the only information I had was China has huge population, and because of that there was cheap labor. So that is why everything is made in China. There are several countries who have huge population just as China. And why is everything made in China and not India or not the US? Now sit down and let's talk. Let me give you the history about how China has become the second largest economy in the world and the largest exporter in the year 2023. According to history, in the year before the year 1979, China was among one of the poorest countries in the world. If you come to China, China is ruled by the Communist People's Party, and before 1979, it was led by their chairman Mao Zedong. And Mao Zedong was the leader of the Communist People's Party. And that time, China was not a friendly country to foreigners. But something happened. The leader of the CPP, or the Communist People's Party, then departed from the earth in the year 1979. There came another leader of the same Communist Party who is called Deng Xiaoping. And Deng Xiaoping, as the leader, was also a leader of the Communist Party. However, when he came, he was business minded. Deng Xiaoping was popularly known with this quote: "It doesn't matter whether a cat is white or black, as long as it catches mice." And he introduced something called the market reforms. What was market reforms about? Market reforms was just making a conducive environment for foreigners to invest in China. During that time, they had several conducive opportunities, environment, and there was less tax for foreigners. If you're a foreigner and you want to invest in China or start your business, your factory in China, you can have more advantage than the people of China. So many foreign investors from the US started moving to China because, one, of the market reforms, two, there was huge population and therefore there will be cheap labor in the country. So we had several factories from the US, from European market, coming to China to start their factories and their companies in China. And this is where the journey of why everything is made in China started from. Many foreign investors started moving into China because of easy logistics. China has free access to the oceans, and areas like the southern part of China, there was free and easy logistics to Europe and to the US. Therefore, people were trying to take advantage of the cheap labor and the market reform policies in China. The government introduced a policy that any foreign company or factory that will be established in China must have native of this country or Chinese. From there, every factory started moving into China, started production because it was very cheap labor, and because of the population, fast production. So, because they had several Chinese in every factory which was established by foreign investors, automatically and unconsciously, several Chinese began to learn so many things from people, experts. Foreign investors thought they were taking advantage of the population and the cheap labor, but they didn't know that they were indirectly training Chinese to be masters of production, masters of factories. So after 10-20 years, Chinese started their own businesses, their own factories, because of the skills they have learned from these investors. This is the main reason why everything is literally made in China. And after 6 years in China, I have visited over 100 factories in China. Why do I visit these factories? I learned how they started their factories, how their journey began, their experience, productions, to get business ideas, so that with time we can have made in Ghana, because Ghana is full of natural resources. We have all the natural resources, yet we are unable to process our products into finished goods. That is why on this channel, I am coming up with business ideas. I will be sharing several business ideas that I have learned from China upon visiting several factories, having several Chinese friends, about how their journey began in terms of starting factories, even without capital. One good thing I still love about the Chinese government is any citizen, even without a house, a land, can go to the bank and take huge money as loan to start their factories. Unfortunately, in our countries, or in my country, Ghana, it's impossible. Before you take a loan, you need huge money or properties or houses before you can, as collateral, before you can take even a loan. And that is what is really helping the Chinese. After 30 years of foreign investors moving to China, Chinese have now become masters of their own, and they don't need foreign investors. Unfortunately, foreign investors' labor has become a little bit more expensive. That is why iPhones, which were previously assembled in China, has moved to India. Several factories are now moving out of China. That is very unfortunate for foreign investors. But fortunately for Africa or Ghana, this is the time for foreign investors to move into Africa or Ghana to invest in. Why Africa? Africa is a growing continent, a continent full of many potentials, yet there's still underdevelopment. There's still less factories in Africa. And guess what? Africa is full of cheap labor. As me, I make money from importation, but I'm not happy about the taxes we pay. If you are able to start a factory in Ghana or Africa, you don't have to pay any logistics. You create employment to so many people. You will make more profit. And it's not just about making profit, it's about changing lives. Just to remind you, my main mission of coming to China in the year 2018 is almost accomplished. Now I know why everything is made in China. That is why now, if you want to invest in Africa or Ghana, you can contact me. We can get you a free land to start the production. I have several Chinese who are experts in so many production or starting factories, and they are willing to start factories in Ghana and in Africa. If you want to join this collaboration, if you have the capital or the money, or you are doubting of what to start in Africa, contact me. and I'll link you to several of these Chinese who are willing to move, but they need people who will partnership with them to start this investment in Africa. So this is where time will permit me to end this video, and stay tuned for more videos, and don't forget to subscribe.